Our next guest spends a lot of time educating about eating right and eating healthy. She even created her own line of organic seasonings. We're going to try some of those.
Yeah, and she's also the author of this, the new Motherland Cookbook. We welcome Sabina Jules here to Virginia this morning. Welcome.
Thank you.
Made your way here today from Nashville, but
Yep.
you are originally from Cameroon.
I'm originally from Cameroon.
Yeah, the book says recipes from the motherland, and is that we're talking Africa here?
We're talking Africa.
Okay.
So 105 recipes across Africa. We eat the same things, but just cook differently from country to country.
Well, let's cook today. You've got some great things, greens, which is universal as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
What are we doing today?
Today, the main is the lamb.
Mm-hmm.
Good protein, but most people probably don't like the lamb because they might say it's a little bit gamey.
It's a little gamey.
It's oily.
Mm-hmm.
So my tip is boil some water, put a little bit of salt, and put your lamb in that water and boil it for like 20 minutes. And the whole idea is when you boil it for 20 minutes, you scoop it out of the water and put it in another pan, and then you add the seasonings. So that first step takes out the gaminess and reduces the fat that is in the meat.
Okay, we're going to put some in there, and we're actually going to boil. We boil the meat first.
For 20 minutes.
Well, boiled meat doesn't sound good to me, but it's just a step in the process,
Yes.
right?
Well, boiled meat might not sound good, but what makes it better is the fact that we would add seasonings, because food is about seasonings. If you season it right, it'll taste good.
Adding the layerings. And you created your own seasonings. How did you go about testing, and what are you going to use in this recipe today?
This recipe today, I'm going to use my meat seasoning, and also I have the greens on the side, because if you're going to eat meat, you need some greens for the fiber to be able to digest the meat. So I use the meat seasoning for the meat, and then I use the green seasonings for my 3 greens.
Okay.
Actually, these are a combination of greens. I have kale, I have collards, and spinach.
Oh, very healthy.
Yes, yes.
Now, is there one particular meat, we're having lamb today, is there one particular meat that is native to Africa that you use in more dishes, or is it pretty much different kinds of meats?
In Africa, we have, typically in Cameroon, which is called Africa in miniature, we have all different types of meats.
Okay.
So it depends on what I'm cooking. Some places I might do goat, might do
I saw you had a
oxtails.
recipe for oxtail. What is oxtail?
Cow tail.
Okay.
They just call it oxtails. I don't know why, but it's cow tail.
Okay.
Yes.
All
All
right.
right, the meat seasoning that you're using, what are the seasonings in there? What are the spices that go into this one?
Well, the spices that go into my meat seasoning, typically you have bay leaves, you have thyme and rosemary, you have garlic and ginger. And the reason is ginger is some kind of, it makes your meat soft.
Tenderizer.
Yeah, like a tenderizer, a natural tenderizer. So there's ginger in this mixture. Plus other herbs that typically would be called some names in Cameroon that you might not know. But if you check my website, Motherland Spices, I have a list of all those other seasonings and spices that I put in the blends, plus their scientific names. And most of them are therapeutic.
And then the spice that goes into the greens, what are you using
The spice that go into the greens, you have parsley, you have cilantro, you have basil, and you have leeks. But there are other African spices as well that go in there.
Now,
All right, so you got some ginger over here, some garlic, and so what else have we got over
Good.
here?
These are for the stew.
Okay.
So when you boil the meat, when the meat boils for 20 minutes or 25 minutes, and you scoop it out and put it in another pan, then you put your olive oil in the saucepan, put some onions and leeks, and you put your tomatoes. Then you add your meat seasoning, put the meat in there, and just let it cook for another 45 minutes.
So you make
That's
it a stew at that point.
Yes.
Then.
it is
That's
a true
it.
stew. And what's the secret to your greens, because they smell fabulous?
Well, the secret to the greens is the green seasoning, and there is another herb in there, or another spice called the bush onion. It's very typical of Cameroon and Gabon because we have the rainforest. So that is my secret spice in the blend, and that's what gives you a lot of flavor. And also you'll notice that the greens are green.
They're bright green.
They're bright green.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because we have the tendency of overcooking the greens, so we lose the color and we also lose the vitamins. So these greens are just steamed for a few minutes, and you drop a little bit of baking soda and steam them just for 5 minutes. Wash them, squeeze, and then you stir fry.
All right, and this is not a banana.
That's not a banana, that's a plantain.
Okay.
So this is a good alternative to like potatoes, because potatoes will be high in glycemic index.
That's a starch.
Yes, so this is a starch.
Well, this is the final platter here with the lamb stew, the greens, and the plantains that
Yes.
are cooked there. It looks fabulous.
Maybe you want to try it.
Are the plantains sweet like a banana?
They are sweet, but not too sweet.
Okay.
But they are sweet.
I've never eaten a plantain. I see them in the store. I've never
It's an
picked one.
original.
Enjoy them.
Well,
and
as
they're
we-
easy to cook.
As we say goodbye today, we're going to let Bill eat the plantains.
Oh, I like
Sabina
that.
Jules, thank you
Can
so
you
much.
make me some of that?